Hey, and welcome to Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome back to Turo Fitness Podcast. Today we are talking about something everyone struggles with at some point, how to stay consistent when motivation runs out. So it's easy to start something when you are excited, but what happens when that excitement fades? So this is a question what I got several times actually this week in my DMs, in my Instagram, and people were asking me tips what to do when I'm not feeling motivated. Like in most cases, people have started well. Maybe it was in January, maybe it was in February, but now we are beginning of March when this episode is coming out, and that motivation is not there anymore. And this is one of the hardest truths to understand, that motivation, it is only matter of time before you are running out of it. So you will not feel motivated every single day. There is not single person in the whole world who is feeling motivated every single day. And in this episode, we are going to break down why motivation is actually unreliable and what to rely on instead, and the worst ways to stay consistent that actually make things a lot harder, and why willpower and extreme challenges don't work in long term. And then I'm going to provide you practical strategies to keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. So let's get into it and go forward with the recording. So, all right, so let's start with that hard truth. So that motivation is unreliable. So it's, as you probably have learned from your own experience, that motivation comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling ready to conquer the world, and you are motivated, excited to do your workout, eat healthier. And then other days you just want to lay on the couch and scroll your phone. And if you only take action when you feel like it, your progress will always be inconsistent. What is the key here is to stop relying on motivation and start relying on habits. So consistency comes from systems, routines, and discipline, not just from feeling inspired. And this is a great example. I use my own example. What I used to be. I have been always. I was, from my background, as you probably know, I was a professional athlete, and there was no such a thing than motivation. Or I'm most of the days like I didn't. I was just working out because I had to. That was a kind of thing what as an athlete you have to do if you want to perform, because that goal was there to become better ice hockey player, and you know that there is some work to do, and if I didn't feel like doing the work, of course there were days that I didn't do it, but most of the days that bigger goal was there, greater than actually the pain of doing that, getting that work done. But that is not. Then when I retired my professional career, and it hit really hard. Like now suddenly I didn't have to work out anymore, and it took me 10 years. I was 10 years inconsistently and basically just doing things that I enjoy doing, and thinking that I will do those. I will work out just what I like, because I had to do things like that I naturally didn't enjoy that much, like a strength training, and that was something that I never enjoyed, never when I was playing professionally. Even nowadays, I'm not enjoying to doing it, but I know on the other hand that it's the one way of exercise that I must do to be able to feel in long term as good as I do now. And to key how I have been able to do it, I'm going to provide my own strategies and strategies that are actually proved and backed up by science. So, but let's get started with the worst ways to stay consistent. So you should definitely try to avoid these. And here are also a couple of my personal examples, as I have been trying several of these things and unfortunately failed in many of these. So you don't need to fail as I did in the past and avoid these mistakes. So if you have ever tried these kind of things and failed, it's not your fault. These methods are setting up you for the burnout and for quitting. And that is not a matter of if it happens, it's matter of time. So people often think that when they are using that kind of willpower method, that you think that I just need to be stronger, I need more discipline. But willpower is like a battery. It drains throughout the day, so you can't rely on it forever. So instead of forcing yourself to be kind of more disciplined, make things easier for yourself. So for example, if you struggle to work out in the evening, try to schedule your workouts in the morning when that decision fatigue is low. So think that willpower is that there is certain amount of willpower what we have, and we use it throughout the day. Like it starts in the morning. Okay, you might have built already some habits, like brushing your teeth in the morning, brushing your teeth in the day. You don't think those things. You get up, you start your routine, and there is not much that willpower fatigue what you need. But then if you have to make, then you have already next decisions, what clothes you are going to wear, how you are going to get into work. And some of these decisions, like if you are driving to your working place, you jump into your car, you stop on a red light. Those are all decisions which are kind of automatic already. So you don't need much willpower on doing those things. But when you start to say that I need to actually do my workout, and if you haven't built that habit that it's easy for you, you will struggle. It's a lot of willpower what you will be needing to do that. But this is why that willpower method, it's setting you into a failure, because it's only a matter of time. It's certain amount of willpower and what you have each day, and all those decisions they take. If you have a work where you have to make several decisions per day, that drains your willpower. So instead, if you have those habits, like for me, I used to think like that it's now when the weather is nice, I want to go. I don't struggle to do my workout. It feels good to do workout. But if I rely on willpower and the way how I feel, I tried it for 10 years. I was never consistent. It was often the cycle was maybe for a month, not even month, couple weeks. And then something happened. It was a busy period of work or something in personal life. I was like, okay, I'm going to skip this week. But often that planned 1 week break, or when I talked myself out of it, kind of starting that action, it was that planned break. It was never just a week. It was often a lot longer than only that planned 1 week, 2 week break. And now I just rely on my habits, and I'm going to talk a little bit later more about those things, how to do. And second thing, what I would avoid in any price is extreme challenges. Like my own example is that at this time it's here and it's a carnival time and very common like a fasting time and challenges like I did this like, and I know that here in Italy, especially area where I live, so many people are going like that they are going to be 40 days without sugar, without alcohol, without everything. And that was, at least for me, that was the worst way, because what you are actually relying, you are relying on your willpower. And if everything goes well, you are able to do that 30, 40 days challenge without sugar. And most likely, I'm not saying that I felt great doing it. That was, you feel like that how it's doing. So it's not bad to experiment those things. But if you think that you are going to get some amazing results by doing these kind of challenges, it's not going to happen. To be honest, you will feel most likely better for the next 30, 40 days or how long you can take it this time. But then after that, what you have, if you don't have any backup plan, how to move away from those challenges, because it's often those kind of extreme challenges, cutting completely everything out. It's only a matter of time. You are counting days that now I have done 28 days. I have 12 more to go. And then when the day is there, you have accomplished your challenge. You are like that. Now I'm done. Now I can eat and do things what I actually want to do. And that is what you learn. What I learned from these challenges is just that I have discipline, I have willpower, but there is nothing what you gain in if you look like in year from that challenge when I did it, or 6 months after that challenge. Did I learn something? No. Did I gain some visible results? Did I feel amazingly better? No. Did I gain some amazing results for the first days or for within that month? Absolutely. But in the long term, if I think in the long term, like 6, 12 months, that I didn't gain anything. That all results I got, they were, as soon as they came, they were all almost gone. And it's not that I try to even talk myself out of it and thinking like that, okay, this is a great challenge that maybe I will find out the way how to actually stick with the plan, reduce a little bit. And maybe it worked for a while, but it was never a solution that actually helped me to gain something or learn habits that help me in a lifelong challenge. Because this fitness thing, this is not just some race or challenge. It's a lifelong journey. There is no deadline. There is no deadline when you are done. When it's done, even you might have some goal weight or whatever, but then even you reach those goals, which are amazing goals, but then you are like, how long you are happy? You are happy maybe for a minute, maybe for a day, maybe for a week, but then you are like that, what is next? What is next? What I'm going to do now when this challenge is over? And that kind of challenges, they are not helping. So if you have ever done these kind of no sugar challenges or something similar, they, of course, they in the beginning, they feel very exciting at the first, and especially when you are able to do it. But often then later on, they lead to binging, guilt, and burnout. So when you are then finally you can't take it anymore, your willpower is already gone, and you are like that, now what is the point? I'm not going to make it anyway. And then you are ending up binging, feeling guilty about it. And then you tell to yourself that I will start over. Maybe it's next Monday, maybe it's next week, maybe it's next month. But that leads ultimately only to burnout. So instead of that all or nothing thinking, try some small sustainable changes that fit into your life in the long term. And third thing, what I would avoid and what is the huge mistake is waiting for the perfect time. So we like to talk ourselves out of starting something what we ultimately know that we should get started. But often what I hear from clients that I will start when the work slows down. I will start when I have finished my holiday. I will start when Christmas time is over. I will get back on track when life is less stressful. And news, news. If you didn't know it, I know that you probably know it, but there will never be a perfect time. You have to make progress even in imperfect conditions. So, and progress is not always that you are seeing amazing results. Like I had this year several clients. Actually, I was very surprised that who started actually in December, and they were all thinking at that time that is it now? Because there is a Christmas coming and a holiday season. That is it the right time to start? Because I can't stick perfectly in my macros or calorie goals or my workouts. But this is not progress. Is not that you are doing everything perfectly. That is all or nothing mindset. And progress is always if you compare yourself, for example, last year at the same time, like let's talk about like let's say example Christmas time, holiday season. So if last holiday season you gained 2 kilos of weight, and now this year you are able to maintain or you gain only 1 kilo of weight. Obviously, that's not the perfect, but it's progress. That is not the best way to think, but this is just a way to think how to get rid of that all or nothing thinking. So don't wait for the perfect time. So what then actually works? So here are a couple of strategies, my favorite strategies to how to stay actually consistent. So these are very practical ways, and especially when the motivation is gone. And step number one is always focusing on identity, not just goals. So I a little bit talked about it earlier about my identity when I was an athlete. So I of course I had a goals, but my identity was that I was an athlete. My goal was, or I was athlete, and athletes are working out. So this is something what I like to talk with my clients, especially who are struggling. Like if you have a goals like uh, losing fat, or I recently had a great talk with one of my longtime clients, Seda, like who had a huge problems with the stress and perimenopause, and we changed kind of everything and set different goals, like. And instead of focusing the number on the scale, which is very frustrating, if you work hard, you don't see results, or at least you don't see as much results as you would like, or maybe in the past you have seen some kind of success, but now there is no progress or very little progress. And this is very frustrating. So if you move that, like we did with Zeta, we started to think that she's actually an athlete, even she's not, but or she went to work out. She had a goal in her mind. What was we picked one of her favorite exercises, and she the only goal was to get as strong as possible in her favorite exercise, and that was a deadlift. And we set the goal, or she was at the time, that's around 1 month ago, we set the goal to like she was able to do with 50 kilos, 5 repetitions deadlift. And we set a realistic goal to have 60 kilos, like 20% increase. I think if my math is more or less correct, increase of her strength and do 5 repetitions with the same weight, or with the 60 kilo weight, so 10 kilos more. And actually today, when I'm recording this, it's 3 weeks, and since we started this goal, and she hit that already now. I was actually originally I was thinking it might take a bit longer. It might take 2 months or something, but she hit it within 3 weeks. And now, of course, as a side effect, she has become a lot stronger. She already wrote that actually she jumped on the scale, even she didn't want to do it, but she have also lost weight. Stress is so much reduced. She's excited working out, and not just working out for because you have to do it, or you have some weight loss goals or whatever that you are trying to become healthier, but you are actually thinking like an athlete. and that her identity is to become as strong as possible. So the only goal is to get stronger. And then when she's getting, like, imagine these kind of results, getting 20% increase in her strength means that she's gaining muscle mass. It's going to boost her metabolism. She will need a lot more calories during the day without doing anything, and obviously feeling probably like a lot better than earlier. And these kind of shifts in your identity, it's those are game changers, and especially for women who I work like in their 40s, 50s, focusing and starting to think to get as strong as possible and shifting that focus or working out on towards some kind of goal. And often I like to empathize some kind of like performance-based goal. What is totally possible within your actions, and not just thinking that I need to lose weight. Of course, that is, I understand that frustration that you have to lose weight, but when you focus on different things which are kind of leading to that same end results, what you want, that is going to be a game changer. And that is going to get that frustration a lot less. And when you think that identity, because often question what I get is that how I can change my identity. And it's, instead of saying that I want to work out, say that I'm someone who moves every day, or asking questions like that, what would person with your goals, let's say healthy person, would decide at this moment, what healthy person would eat, what healthy person would do, would healthy person skip a workout, say that I don't have time today, or would that person with my goals say that I get at least started. So these kind of shifts in your identity and the way how you think make actions feel automatic instead of forced. And then strategy number 2 is kind of that lowering that barrier to entry. So make things as easy as possible to get started. So I just got actually today message one of my other client, Ingrid, and said that she knows that she needs to drink more water. She knows that she needs to start tracking her food, writing down into my nutrition app all foods she's eating, because that has been such a game changer and helping so much for her to become aware of what she's actually eating. And then I said, she was telling that, but she don't know when she have been talking herself out of doing it. But I said that the goal is here also, it's kind of the perfectionist, what is there. And I said, what if you could do right now, what there are 2 steps what you could be doing. Like, for example, her goal was the challenge what I gave for today was just to put 6 rubber bands into her water bottle, half-liter water bottle, because her goal is to drink 3 liters of water. And I said, you don't need to get that goal done. You don't need to accomplish that goal to drink 3 liters of water, but it all starts with the action that you at least you put those rubber bands so that it's visible and you know what to do. And if you think that you need to get started with tracking your food, what was your last meal? So her last meal was breakfast. As that you probably didn't wake everything up, but put as accurately as possible what you just had for your breakfast. And you are done for today. You took action. It was not perfect, but it was action. And setting those things, then next day, tomorrow is a new day. And once you get started something, it's so much easier to keep doing that thing instead of talking yourself out of it and waiting that perfect time to get started. And now I'm measuring everything perfectly. So, and this is something like for myself, like when I think in the past, what I did with my workouts, I did work out when I felt motivated. And now, especially in winter time, I had a huge struggles with my motivation, especially with my strength training. So I didn't feel like it, because strength training is something I naturally don't enjoy. And I didn't like it was cold time. I work out in my basement. There is no heating, and in the winter time, in months of December, January, it's so fucking cold there. And I tried to find every excuse what I could for myself to not get in there and not to get started. But I'm a person who promised to myself to get started 2 times per week, and obviously months of January, there were weeks that I just literally went there. I did one exercise, I did 2 exercises. Maybe I ended up doing 15 minutes, but it was never longer than 20 minutes, my workouts, and just basically just showing up and doing that one exercise. And then I called it for a day because I didn't have time, I didn't have motivation, but I kept consistent. Of course, did I see amazing results? No. Did I lose progress? Also not. But what makes it so much easier now, we are in the beginning of March. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, okay, now I actually feel more motivated again. Motivation is back there. And now it was so much easier to start to add something for that routine, what I already had built. And now I'm doing my 30, 40, 50-minute workouts 2, 3 times per week consistently for a month. So it's just overcoming those periods, overcoming those slumps of motivation while staying consistent and telling yourself that I just get started. I just do 5 minutes because 90% of the time, at least for me, I will keep going. Even I talk myself just to get started. More often than not, it's just only about that getting started. It's not about that actually doing that work, but it's only about getting started. So if you are someone who is struggling to eat healthy, so you could pre-cut your vegetables, you could prepare your meals in advance or keep healthy snacks visible. So those are all kind of things. What is like that if you struggle with that, if you take couple minutes of time, if it could be on weekend or some day when you have a little bit more time, just prepare yourself, plan ahead, because that is ultimately that is the key for all consistency. So then everything that you don't need, that willpower, you have everything is already prepared. So more often that even it's not working every time, you are more likely to actually eat a bit healthier when everything is prepared in advance. So, and then tip number 3 is kind of building those triggers and routines. So I have been recently reading a couple of books about building habits, and they have a same method. And I'm a big fan of believing it, that building and tying your habits to something you already do. So for example, if you have these kind of habits, what I talked earlier, like hopefully brushing your teeth morning, maybe in the evening. And then, for example, after brushing your teeth in the morning, I do 10 squats or 10 push-ups. So when you have that kind of routine, what you are already doing, or what I did that was at the times when I was an athlete, I was working in a normal actually very demanding work in a construction, building some uh, houses and helping people when I was younger. And I knew that I had to work out, but of course I was exhausted after day. And I knew that if I just go home, if I lay down into the couch, I will not get up anymore. I will not do my workout. So I was doing it in this way, that I had a rule that either I have to go right away to the gym after work before even going to home and get my workout done, or when I came home, I had to, before laying in the couch, because that was the trigger for me that didn't work, because I knew that soon as I hit that point, I will not get myself up anymore. But I changed my workout clothes right away and started that action. So those kind of more automatic you are, less motivation you are going to need. And then tip number 4 is kind of planning for the days you don't feel like it. So creating that kind of if then plan. So this is often what I do when I like really can't get myself doing the work or I have some injury. So what unfortunately, like fortunately, it haven't happened lately too much, but and I hope it will stay that way. But if, for example, if I don't feel like working out, then I will at least go for a walk. So there is something like what is kind of that harder thing, what you would ideally do, and then there is that kind of thin plan, easier plan, what you will do then instead if you can't do that first option. If I'm, for example, other example for a nutrition part, if I'm too tired to cook, then I will order a healthy option instead of fast food. So those are kind of having that if then plan in a place, and that is a game changer. So and then last one, measure your actions, not just results. So if you only measure your success in the scale, you will get discouraged, you will feel unmotivated. But instead, if you are tracking things you can control, so how many workouts you started, I would I don't like to track how many workouts I completed, because my goal is never to complete my workout, it's to get started. And if I set the goal, like I do it for myself every week, like that I decide on Sunday, looking my schedule, how it looks like for upcoming week. And then if my schedule is realistically that busy, I don't have option to work out 3 times a week, then I say that, okay, this week I will start 2 times per week. And I will put those workouts into my schedule, into my calendar, and treat them as non-negotiable events for myself. So it's like an important meaning that I'm not going to postpone it. I'm not going to do, it's like a non-negotiable event for myself. And that is 100% under my control. It's in my calendar, it's there, and I just need to get started. I never need to finish it. Then other thing, what is 100% under your control is to set, for example, goals like how many meals you prepared, or if you don't need to plan and prepare every single meal, but if you are new, just about to get started, I would start 1, 2, not more than 3 meals ahead, and starting with that planning, that setting a goal that I will plan for Monday evening, Wednesday evening, and Thursday evening, because those are the times I struggle the most. So I'm planned, I'm prepared for those times when that things happens. And when you are measuring actions, like how many times you drink water instead of soda, or how much water you are able to drink, if you are using tricks like you could set alarm to your phone using that rubber band example, what I used, which is, by the way, one of my favorite strategies. But just measuring those actions, how many steps you are able to take, how many times you are going for a walk. It don't have to be 30-minute walk, because there is never a perfect number. It's just in your head. It's more, I like to set these kind of goals, how many times I started action, never setting yourself that kind of goal that you need to complete some amount of exercise, but just simply getting started. So at the end of the day, staying consistent is not about willpower and is not about extreme challenges. It's about building habits that fit into your life. It's making it easier to show up even when you don't feel like it, and focusing on long-term identity change, not just short-term motivation. So here is your challenge. Pick one small change. I talk now many things in this episode, but just don't try to do everything. Pick just one small change and commit to do it this week. I would love to hear what you choose. So I love to hear your thoughts, your ideas. And so DM me on my Instagram at personaltrainer_Turo and tell me what small habit you are focusing on. Because ultimately, when you keep yourself accountable, not just listening and it's going in from other ear and away from other ear. So let me be your accountable partner. Write to my DM in my Instagram what you are committing to do this time. So you have wrote it, you have promised it for someone else than just yourself, because more often than not, if you promise just something for yourself without that external motivation or external accountability, you are not going to do it. But once you have that accountability, outside accountability, you are writing, you could make social media post, I'm committing to do this, and then showing actually how you do it. But you could be just writing me in my Instagram, tell me what small habit change you are focusing on. And if you found this episode helpful, do me a favor, subscribe, share it with your friend, and leave a review. And thank you, by the way, for all those who have left already written review in iTunes or Spotify. They are helping so much for more people to find this podcast. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode. Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.